Well, that can't be a good thing.
Buckle up for safety as I give you a day in the life of facilities maintenance.
Hi there. How's it going today? I'm going to catch you up on what I've been doing in this bathroom here. So previous episode, if you saw the one with the valve that fills the cistern above the urinals, that was a repair that I had to do because the pipe broke in the wall. And I'm still not up and running here, and it's been a few days. So while I was doing that repair, I poured some cleaner down the urinals. The cleaner is designed to dissolve the uric acid buildup. It's kind of like calcium buildup and using CLR, but it's specifically designed for urinals. After it did its work, the urinals started leaking. And so I pulled the urinals off the wall to find that the seals were completely deteriorated. The sponge seals were 30 years old. And so I put new seals on. The first set of seals that I bought came out of a bulk box at a wholesaler. I won't mention who they were, but they were slightly different. One of them was a little thicker, one of them was a little thinner. I put the thicker one on the right side, put the thinner one on the left side, for no reason other than that's just the way it worked. When I put the urinals back on and got everything up and running again, I found that the left side leaked. It actually leaked so bad that the ceiling below in the boys' bathroom on the first floor was getting wet. I'm up on the second floor now. So we shut the water off and proceeded to try and figure out what was leaking. Now I suspected that seal was the issue because it was slightly thinner than the other one and the other one wasn't leaking. I took it off, I looked at the seal, I went, yeah, it doesn't look like it was doing a very good job. So I switched to a wax seal. Pausing. Back again. Where was I? Wax seal. I switched to a wax seal, and even though it was a 2-inch seal made for urinal flanges, it just squished all over the place and kind of choked the water from being able to go down the actual drain. So that had to be redone again. So I took the urinal back off. I switched to a sponge rubber seal that it was actually meatier. It was thicker than the one that I had tried previously. And I used a little silicone in behind it just to get it to stick onto the flange, mounted the urinal, put everything back together, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give it overnight to cure and then retest in the morning. So this morning, I came back to work, I took some dry paper towel, and on the other side of the wet wall, I put it underneath the fitting just to make sure to catch any drips. So no drips would get by that I missed. I wanted to make sure I saw it. Poured a bucket of water in the urinal. Big bucket of water and the moment of truth. Went around and checked, and the paper towel was soaked. So I thought, okay, something else is going on here. I took things apart again. The seal actually didn't look bad at all. I looked at it and went, no, this is not a seal leak. It's something else going on. It must be in the threads between the flange and the ABS nipple that was behind it. I say nipple because that was actually what was built. The problem is that when you put together, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So anyway, I took it apart, cleaned up the threads inside the flange, rewrapped everything with Teflon tape. As I was starting to thread it on, I thought I heard a tiny little noise, maybe a click. Something didn't feel right. And I thought, hold on a second here. And I took a closer look, and now that I could actually see the threads because everything was exposed, and I wiggled it sideways a little bit, I found the problem. As I am spinning this on, I am hearing something funny, and I realize, I don't know if you can see this, that fitting is broken. That's why it was leaking. Oh my goodness. I have to rebuild this ABS piece here, which goes back to a cast iron elbow. Okay, well, you know what? There's a measure of relief that comes with actually knowing for sure what the problem is. So I have to try and get this off, and I have choices. I could either rebuild it out of ABS plastic, but I never like screwing plastic into metal or vice versa, because plastic fails, or it can fail, and in this case it did. So I might actually get a brass nipple and go metal to metal to metal and call it a day. Alright, there we are. And there's the crack right there. Yep, there is our problem. You see that crack right there? You can see the hairline crack on the inside. This is where our leak has been happening. And in a sense, I got faked out by the seal issue. Going from a very poor, skinny foam rubber seal to a wax seal that just kind of squished all over the place, when this was the actual problem. There you go. Had they used that in the first place, we wouldn't be where we are right now. Yeah, okay, now I can put a wrench on it comfortably and try and tighten that. Okay, we're in. I can put the flange on now. Okay, we're level. Now, even though my other rubber seal was only 24 hours old, I'm changing it again anyway. I want to use a new one again, and I'm just putting a thin bead of silicone on the back, 100% waterproof, strong adhesion, 40% more flexibility. I could use 40% more flexibility. That'll help hold it in place until I get the urinal mounted. I know, I only had one rubber glove. Make sure I don't scratch my eyes or pick my teeth before washing my hands thoroughly.
You may notice the copper supply line and the threaded slip joint that I'm attaching to the top of the urinal. These 30-year-old pieces that were chromed brass pretty much fell apart in my hands when I took it apart the first time. The threads were just corroded to the point where they were paper thin and there just wasn't any strength left. I had to rebuild it, and rebuilding it piece by piece was actually easier to put together than this right now. It's just difficult because these things are they're meant to be put together when you take everything apart, including the partition off the wall. Then you can reassemble piece by piece systematically, as opposed to trying to fit an already completed piece back into the mix the way I'm trying to do here.
This one's harder to line up now that this is all assembled than it was before.
But with a little patience.
Okay, I managed to get it. Had I not, if I wasn't able to get the threads to line up, I would have had to take off the partition in between the two urinals, which would allow me to then disconnect the pipes and move that vertical stack back and forth. This one here. See, right now this is up against this partition, so if I remove the partition completely, which I did before when I first built this, then I'd be able to move this back and forth and allow me the wiggle room I need to be able to take this right out, attach this, reconnect this. I was just trying to save myself a couple of steps, and I did. All right, our urinal is on the wall. I'm just gonna take some sealant now and seal around here just to prevent this from being able to wiggle. That was a bigger gap around the back of the urinal than I would have preferred filling. However, the difference is that I switched out an ABS fitting for a brass fitting. And even though they were both exactly the same length, the brass fitting isn't gonna screw in quite as far. As a result, my flange was probably about, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch further out from the wall than the original one was, which shows up everywhere. Having said that, the urinal is in place. I know I've got a good seal, I can feel that. I'm gonna give it a few minutes, let things just cure up a little bit. Then I'm gonna go back to pouring another bucket of water down here, and we'll see where we're at. Well, drains quickly. And I didn't see any water leaking out the front. Let's go check out the backside. Not a drop. We're back in business. Thanks for watching.